I learned much of what I know from a man named Tom Chiarella. He is a university professor, teaches writing, and he's written a book simply called On Writing. Chiarella is spelled Chiarella. And no, he's never mentioned me, and no, I don't owe him any money. It's a wonderful book, and I would write one because I am so passionate about it, except he's already done it. There's really no point in doing something that's really already been done. I started out in journalism, and in those days, it was straight journalism. It was, you start out with who, how, where, why, when, what, and you write straight news copy. It isn't like that these days. Everyone needs to know how to write anecdote and dialogue, whether you're writing nonfiction or fiction or anything else. I even put dialogue into my poetry. My favorite tip, and it seems so simple, is to listen to the way people talk. My other favorite tip is to record the way some people talk. I intentionally choose seats on a train or a bus right behind somebody, and then I eavesdrop and I take notes. But the idea is that you need to get dialogue that sounds natural. And one of the easier things to remember to do, not to do, when we talk, we don't usually call people by their names. I don't usually say, Nicole, do this, or Nicole. We use names occasionally if we're angry with our kid. Billy, clean up the dishes. That's often where we use someone's name. We don't use them to help a reader identify who's talking to who. If you have a tendency to do that in your first draft, or heaven forbid in the final draft before you submit it to an agent or to a publisher, please, please go back and read Tom's book. There are all kinds of ways to get around that. Part of it's with the punctuation of dialogue. Part of it is with what the person who is doing the speaking is actually doing in terms of mannerisms. So they're talking, but you know who's speaking because you've described how they're moving. Maybe they move their shoulders. Maybe they scratch their chin. One of the main characters in my first novel was based on my grandmother, and she had a habit of sniffing when she thought she had said something important and something that you should obey to the letter. She'd go, and you knew it was law. So I used that in my novel. It wasn't something you could use frequently, but when she used it, you knew who was speaking in that novel. You knew it was her. Even if her dialogue maybe sounded a little bit like somebody else's, which I hope it didn't, but you get the idea. There are a lot of them, and if you're using crutches in your dialogue, there are probably excellent ways for you to get around it.
Thank you for listening. Please review our other available content for help writing, publishing, and marketing your book. If you have any questions about the Author Learning Center, please contact us by email at authorsupport@authorlearningcenter.com.